The US election campaign has entered the home stretch with just 6 days to go before the vote on the 3rd of November. President Donald Trump has been on a whistle-stop tour of the Midwest, hoping to repeat history by once again winning the so-called blue wall states of Michigan, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Speaking to a packed rally in Lansing, he sought to reclaim his 2016 role of Washington outsider, despite spending the last 4 years in the White House.
Sound like a politician because I'm not a politician. I never wanted to be a politician. I became a politician for one very specific reason, because we're doing a job in the history of our country. In the first 3.5 years, nobody has done what we and this administration has been able to do. With regulations, with taxes, with rebuilding our military, with strengthening our borders.
Our reporter Andy Rosegen was at a Trump rally in Wisconsin and sent us this report.
Despite Donald Trump being down in the polls here in Wisconsin to Joe Biden by about 5 to 10 percentage points, and despite thousands of Wisconsin residents who've already voted in this election, here is what's giving Trump supporters a lot of hope today and giving Democrats nightmares. Thousands of people showing up here long before this rally set to begin in western Wisconsin, just as they did 3 days ago at a different Trump rally in eastern Wisconsin. He's really trying to replicate what he did here in 2016, when Hillary Clinton did not campaign in this state at all, and he did, and he wound up winning it by 1 percentage point. Of course, the big difference here now is the coronavirus. It's on a lot of people's minds. The number of new cases, hospitalizations, and deaths here in Wisconsin have now reached their all-time pandemic high. And I talked to a couple of Trump supporters about his falling poll numbers and the rising COVID numbers.
To me, the polls mean about as much as the COVID numbers. They say what people want them to say. The numbers that matter are this full parking lot.
I think a lot of the numbers are skewed. I don't believe that the death rate is as high as that they say it is. I do think that a lot of people are dying with diseases, but they also had COVID, but instead they put COVID on as the reason for their death.
A lot of critics of this rally today. Doctors in this area were urging Trump not to hold this rally because his supporters generally don't wear masks, and there's no social distancing here either. And critics of his are putting up billboards around the state along highways that say "This way to the Trump COVID super spreader event." In the meantime, Joe Biden is determined not to let this state slip away as it did for Hillary Clinton. He'll be campaigning here in Wisconsin on Friday. That's his third trip to the state during this campaign. Andy Rosegen for Euronews in western Wisconsin.